Samantha, welcome.
Thank you.
I have to say, I've really been looking forward to this. I'm very excited. I've really enjoyed your films. I think that you're one of those actors that really mixes up your work, and I think that that's always interesting for an audience. You do the brave, bold, risky, unusual films like Super Deluxe, which everyone loved. You do the romantic films like Majili, and now you have a lovely comedy coming out as well.
Yes.
I feel like you're possibly the hardest working actress in Tamil Telugu cinema. You had 5 releases last year. It's only been June isn't even over. You've already had 2 releases, and you've got a 3rd movie coming out. Are you like the hardest working girl in the country?
Absolutely not. There are girls who work much harder. In fact, I've been home for 1.5 months, really, not doing anything. But I think the choices that I have made recently, first of all, it's such an honor for me to be in conversation with you. Followed all your work.
Thank
and
you.
You are our
As
link
I have
to the north, and by north I mean Mumbai.
Right.
I'm from Chennai, the south to the south, so Mumbai is north.
Right, of course.
So I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
The choices I've made, like, it's been gradual. It's been as I learn, because I've come on my own into the industry. So I make mistakes, I learn from them.
Sure.
And so it's only over the last few years that it's been a conscious decision to actually be responsible for the work that you're doing. So I think as a result of a clearer picture in my head has been the decisions to do Super Deluxe, Rangasthalam, Mahanati.
Correct.
And it's worked out so far.
The next one, of course, the new one is Oh Baby, which comes out on the 5th of July.
Yes.
It's a film in which it's the story of an aging woman who gets a chance to relive her youth because those were the years that she had many responsibilities and she didn't enjoy her youth in the way that one normally would, and she gets another shot at reliving her youth.
Amazing.
It sounds like an amazing idea. Everyone's dream.
Everyone's
right?
dream.
What sort of got you interested in this?
Well, I happened to watch the original, which is the Korean film, and I found it. Well, it's been remade in 7 languages for a reason, because it has this universal, you can relate to it. It's universal appeal.
Right.
So I think that when I watched the film, it was such an important idea to tell and an important story to tell. It makes you feel like it's a comedy until it's not.
Right.
So it really kind of leaves you. This film actually made me want to go and hug my mum and say, what were your dreams?
Right.
I haven't asked my mum, being a daughter myself, I haven't asked my mum, what did you want to do growing up, mother? Like, it's just given, it's like, it's expected of a mom and a grandmom to just be there for the family and look after the kids.
To give up their own sort of dreams and ambitions.
And we don't even ask them. Like we're always, my dad's career is this, and my dad achieved this.
Right.
But what my mom could have, I never asked her that question.
True.
So I think that this film really opens your eyes to that question, and to the unsaid sacrifices that our mums and our grandmoms, we today as young women have the opportunity to go and live our dreams and our ambitions, but maybe they didn't, and they didn't have that opportunity. So this film was an eye-opener as such.
We're going to be taking questions from the fans throughout. They've been tweeting, they've been sending, and I feel like this question is quite appropriate here. Shiva has asked, when can we see you in an out-and-out feminist character with no male leads? I feel like this is the out-and-out feminist film, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Not out-and-out feminist film, it's all about the women. And even with our team and our director,
I believe it's
our producer, and
women strong team.
It's a very, very women strong team, and we've done an amazing job. My team has done an amazing job, because also with the production, we finished the film in record time, and there wasn't a day where shooting was cancelled or postponed, and we were ready for release months before what was expected of us.
How often does that happen?
So yes, I think that we really rose to the occasion, and I'm very proud of my team.
Right. Your husband, Naga Chaitanya, Chay.
I love how you said your husband. I'm usually used to your Naga Chaitanya's wife.
You have your own identity. He posted on Twitter when the trailer came out. He said, "This character is so you." In what way?
Well, I think, I've always wanted to play a full-length a role in a full-length comedy, and well, because I'm kind of expected to be the funny bone always in family occasions, and I'm always supposed to be the the comedian.
Right.
So it was nice to actually play what I am off screen in a film, and he watched the film and he's very, very happy.
I was seeing the interviews that the two of you did together for Majili, and one of the things that that you said, I think the interviewer asked you, who does your father-in-law, the great actor Naga, of course, who is he closer to? And you actually said he's closer to you. You said he finds you very entertaining. So I see now what that means.
He does actually. I know more about what he's doing and what he's up to than his son. So I take great pride in that.
Right. You've done, Samantha, 45 films, about 45 films
really?
in like less than 10 years. 2010 was the first one.
So many of those films I'm not proud of. So many. Can we just forget sometimes?
We won't go into details. But what is your attitude towards work, and how has it changed since you since you were a newcomer? How has the attitude changed? It's actually a little bit of what you just said. You said a few years ago is when you sort of focused specifically on seeking out a certain kind of pattern to your work.
Yeah. I think first of all, you have to, as an actor, you need to get the confidence in yourself.
Right.
And that takes a few years. And I am really jealous of actors who already shed all their insecurities and inhibitions even before they, I meet some of them and I'm enamored and I'm so inspired by how they could actually, because we all have our sets of insecurities that's going to translate into our choices, into the choices we make.
Right.
So it took a few years for me to make all those bad choices, all those wrong choices, wanting to be like somebody else and wanting to live her dream and her dream and her dream, and not really realizing what my own dream and what my own capabilities were.
Right.
So it took.
Is that why in 2015 actually you said that you wanted to quit films? There was a point at which you said, I'm going to quit films because I'm tired of just doing 5 songs and 1 scene before that.
Yeah, I was trying to be somebody I was not.
Right.
And they took so long for me to be able to actually let go of what I cannot be and actually get better at what I can be. So it takes a while. For some people longer.
Sure. You were in Super Deluxe recently, which everyone loved. It was the critics' darling, and it is really this wild, original, crazy, completely unpredictable film. You, of course, are introduced in the opening scene of the film in a completely unpredictable kind of way, and then sort of what happens with that character. I don't want to give it away because I feel like there's still a lot of people that probably haven't discovered the film, and it's going to be out soon on some platform, so they should. But I want to ask you, what about this character sort of appealed to you? Because talking to actors in the Hindi film industry, I can safely tell you it's not the kind of role that a lot of actresses would immediately gravitate towards. Maybe now more than a few years ago, but it's an unusual kind of unlikely character for a leading lady, for a mainstream leading lady.
Absolutely, and as people have rightly pointed out to me, a married leading
lady. Right, of course. That changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wasn't the first choice for the film. He did go to other leading actresses and he was rightly refused. But I think that for me, if a character doesn't scare me and really make me have sleepless nights 3 days before I begin a shoot, then it's not worth it for me. So I think that this character was one of those characters. That's the first question I ask: am I scared? Am I scared enough? So that's what drives me towards a character these days. And I was scared. Sure. I had no idea how I was going to do it. It looked simple, but to come across as a cheating wife,
right,
who people shouldn't hate.
Correct.
It's very difficult.
That's right.
to not hate a cheating wife.
Yeah.
So it was tricky. but I'm glad that it was a really fun character to play, and there was nothing to dig into, or there was nothing,
It's very unprecedented.
Yeah, like what are the odds?
And it's interesting because how it goes from that point to actually, I don't want to give away too much, but really what it does to the marriage, and how it the marriage unravels and they discover more about each other. Also, just a few weeks apart from Super Deluxe was Majili.
Ideal wife.
Completely the absolute sort of reverse. In fact, there were points in that film because she plays this silently suffering wife of this very selfish husband. There were points at which I wanted to like shake her up and say, why are you being this doormat? I mean, how did you, what interested you about this character? Because she's really a pushover.
Well, what interested me about this character was sometimes what is expected of you, or what seems to be normal, when you look at another person, is not normal for that. It's not. I might come across like a very strong, independent woman, which I am.
Right.
But there would be something from my past that still lingers and has made me the person that I am. And for Shravani, it was this boy who
she's grown up sort of loving,
who was probably how do I put it? Who was probably made her discover her personality was her core personality was surrounding this boy. So that's something you can't wipe off.
Right.
You might be successful, you might be independent, you might have a voice, but you can't wipe off that little the effect of a certain experience or a certain person that you came across in your life. So I think that's why Shravani was a very believable character for me to be playing, and I could understand what. And in the end, also, she wouldn't. Like in the climax of Majili, she wouldn't be like, now you realize I want to scream out.
Actually, she's weeping. She can't even. He's the one who's actually telling her, "Thank you for doing what you've done."
So it was nice to also be able to play a vulnerable character.
And how much did it sort of weigh into the decision, the fact that you were going to be working with your husband again?
I'd never ever let a professional decision be clouded by my personal equation.
Right. But how has life changed since getting married? How has life changed? How has the career changed? Does it change? It's been less than 2 years, October 2017.
I'm suddenly carrying this mantle of post-marriage hero who's actually, but I don't know how much of credit I can actually take for it, because there were films like Prangasthalam and Mahanati were films that I was doing even before marriage, and they happened to release post marriage and happened to become phenomenal hits. So I can't really take the credit that post-marriage, but I believe that now I am getting films. I'm not getting as many films as I did before marriage, but I think that's more because they really don't know what to do with me anymore. In the
chameleon, you're doing such unusual stuff now that they're like, she can't be just the romantic lead anymore.
So I think it's more this than the fact that I'm married. It's more like, okay, I don't know what to do with her in the film. So it's more that.
You did your first film in 2010 with your husband, who was not your husband at the time, of course. That movie was called, and I could be pronouncing this completely wrong, so please jump in, Ye Maya Chesave?
Yes.
Oh, not bad, okay.
Not bad.
And now, of course, Majili. I mean, how different are the two of you on set like now? Are you very different? I mean,
very, very different. My husband, Chaitanya, is a lot more focused, and he's a lot more responsible. I got the feeling this time over. For me, I think, and the first film I really didn't care about anything else, but Majili was like, I needed it to work, I needed everything to be perfect.
Right.
I was this obsessive mother. He got really annoyed. I saw a responsible actor in Chaitanya this time over.
Right. you know, the two of you are the internet's darling. I mean, the digitally you all are called Chay Sam, of course.
Yeah.
You are the Ranveer Singh and Deepika Padukone of the of the Telugu industry.
I don't know about that.
Well, I meant in terms of just the love and the affection. You know, you have been declared the cutest couple in cinema. Do you sort of enjoy that? I mean, is that, you know, you are loved on, there are memes, there are Instagram accounts dedicated to you all, there are Twitter accounts.
I don't know if I give that too much thought. I think as an actor, you tend to not take things too seriously after a point, both the good and the bad. So it just like slides along.
You're like travel freaks, apparently, both of you. You all just came back from Kashmir,
yes.
where he was shooting a film.
Yes.
Do you all have you know, places on your travel bucket list?
Absolutely. Every year there's a bucket list, and we love traveling together for sure.
Sure. You know, you recently shut down media speculation. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to get into trolls and you recently shut down speculation on pregnancy. I mean, it seems to be something that they constantly ask you. When an actress gets married, that's the obvious sort of thing. Does that get annoying when that question keeps coming up?
I don't think. Well, see, trolling did affect me initially to the extent of I was questioning my, you know, whether I was going insane. Because I would wake up and the first thing I would do was check for trolls, and it was really, really hurting my mental stability and making me rush to make wrong decisions. So I don't think I have, you know, much advice for anyone on or much of an explanation on how I really got out of such a situation. It was just over time, and I think now I'm at a point where it's just for fun. Like I did not respond to that from any sort of annoyance. It was just like I was playing along, and I've understood, you know, what are the, if I know that there's going to be a troll even before I put a tweet or like post a picture. I know what's, I've gotten so used to what to expect from trollers that I know exactly what's going to happen, and I don't even.
But then, do you put a lot of thought into what you tweet? I mean, you have like 7.4 million followers on Twitter.
Nothing compared to Bollywood.
Well, you know, that's a huge number. I mean, do you then put a lot of thought, knowing that I feel like anything that one puts out is going to upset somebody.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I give anything, like even my interviews. I just try to be as honest as I can, and you know, some people might like it, some people won't. And I actually don't even delete the rude comments anymore. I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it's actually more reflective of the person who sent it, right?
It's fine. Like, I know I see if there's an Instagram post that gets very dirty, people disable the comment section. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to disable it. Just carry on. Do your thing.
Nice. Samantha, you've worked with some of the biggest and the most popular stars of Tamil and Telugu cinema: Mahesh Babu, Pavan Kalyan, Ramcharan, Allu Arjun, Vijay, Vikram, Dhanush, NTR Jr. Who would you say you share the most comfortable chemistry with, aside from your husband?
You know, the reason I did so many films with each one of them is because there was, you know, a really, really good rapport. Like, I think most of them were like 3 films.
Correct.
You know, so it's because there has been such a great rapport. So I can't really pick one, and I have this really bad habit. If I'm working with someone, they become my best friends. Like, so it's like, you know, it's
choosing among your friends.
It's a bad habit. But so I can't really choose one, because you know, I have such great memories with all of them, most of them.
Okay, that was a nice dodge. I'm going to take a question from a fan. A fan has tweeted, this is Nona Prince, has asked you, both in Super Deluxe and in Mahanati, you were either in an ensemble cast or in a supporting role. Being an A-list actress, don't you feel insecure? Not many of your contemporaries have taken up the challenge that you have.
Okay, I'm all about my peers right now, and you know, the women in the industry, and I'm here. I'm like guns blazing in support of well-written female characters, and so in fact, I would be glad to support another heroine, and
Right.
I have no such insecurities right now. Maybe I did before, because that was what was spoon-fed to every heroine, like the media and the industry just very early on start like actually creating a non-existent.
In Hindi, we have a word for it, chabi. We call it chabi.
Yeah, chabi.
Chabi.
Chabi playing. When such competition and such,
Correct. Create those rivalries
don't
which don't even exist. Right.
There are only a few heroines. There's only that much work you can do. So when I understood that this is not us, it's not. It's actually not us. It's created. It just became so much more easier. So I go like all out of my way now, to watch different films of actresses and really try and support, because nobody else is doing it for us. We have to do it for ourselves, and the faster the girls understand that we are one actually, and we are we are so few of us, and we have to stand together, and because the men are certainly not doing it for us, and or the directors, so we have to do it for ourselves.
Right. So is there a sisterhood? I mean, is there a bond?
Yes, there is a bond for sure. There is a bond that is increasingly becoming strong. If you've noticed on social media as well, more actresses and women are coming out in support of each other.
Correct.
So I stand for women.
Right. You are, of course, I'm going to go back to social media. You are very social media savvy. You've said you don't like taking selfies, but you're quite active on Twitter and on Instagram. Recently you put up a post in a yellow dress and you captioned it, "The journey to being comfortable in your own skin may be long and hard, but when it happens, magic." I couldn't help wondering whether you were sort of alluding to the time in 2012 when you were...
That's the thing, right? When I was said about insecurities and about constantly being compared, and so when I had my first film released in 2010, it became a smash hit. I didn't have time to adjust into a new world. I'm from a very humble background and a very small very humble background, and I haven't seen, I hadn't, like, shooting a VMI was the first time I traveled abroad. So I was,
it was new,
so I was drowning in a very big industry, that had all its clicks and all its, like, this is the idea of beauty, this is the idea of how a heroine should look like, how a heroine should behave. There were already these set rules, and I was just struggling to, fit in. And I was far from thinking I can be my own self. It was just about fitting in, and I was obviously not doing a good job of, of being able to handle the pressure. So it took, that's what actually I meant, that after so many years, it feels so nice to wake up in the morning and actually be counting your the positives and the blessings that you have, instead of going and looking for what's negative that's happening. But how wonderfully you found yourself and really kind of become your own person, haven't you? I wish that more girls could find it sooner than I did.
Sure. Didn't it also, or did it also, is that what sort of set you off on this philanthropy that you're now quite engaged in? I know that you donated towards flood victims. You've been working towards women and children's causes. You've been rallying sort of medical support for women treating life-threatening illnesses. I mean, was that what led to this?
No, that wasn't. Like I said, I come from a very humble. I have humble beginnings, and my dream probably was to just be able to afford a one house,
Right.
and have 50 lakhs in the bank account. So, well, I achieved that quite a bit back. Quite a bit. So, you know, that's what it was. So, anything over and above that was not part of my plan.
Yeah.
So, and I think that at the point of time when I was struggling in my life and my mom was struggling, if somebody came and helped us, I know the feeling of how it would have helped.
Right.
So I know that the gratitude that family would have is way more than the kind of the pleasure that I get from like spending the money on myself or something. So I that's why, you know, it's, when you see things, you remember.
Right. How lovely. We'll take a few more questions from the fans. Neha Brahma Rauthu has tweeted. She sent a question on Twitter. She says, when can, and this is a question that has come up many times. It was a question I was going to ask, but I let Neha do it. When can we see you in Bollywood?
Never.
Well, no, you can't be serious.
No, not like, see, the thing is, like I just said, I'm from Chennai.
Yeah.
That's like the most south, the south of the south. So the thing is, I am just about understanding my own people and my own culture and what is it that they like to watch in their films and what is it. I am learning only now still about how to get it right, you know, so what they want from a film. What is it that they want to see and what is it they expect from a character when I'm play. So I'm just about figuring that out.
Right.
I have no idea about the world that is Bollywood, and I will just drown and be
I think you're being too harsh on yourself.
Complete alien.
You know, I think that we're finally in times where sort of the talent leads the way. You know, I think your talent will will kind of help you tide over all the other small little sort of hiccups and adjustments.
Well, so that's the, you know, the reason I just feel
why it's
that
taken so long.
Yeah, I just feel like I haven't yet. You know, I haven't really. I still have more to give them down south and more to understand. You know,
but it is becoming a small world. Actually, it really is becoming a small industry. It feels like today you could be. You know, it's the a Tamil film or a Telugu film could cross over.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's happened with your EGA director, Mr.
Absolutely.
Mr. Rajamouli, of course. In fact, you know, another film that I want to just very quickly touch upon is a film actually that I loved, in which you had a role, was Mahanati, which is of course the story of the great legendary actress Savitri. You of course played that journalist who's going to see her and in her old age. I want to ask you, did that film and playing that role make you consider whether you want to produce or direct someday?
I would definitely want to produce because some of my friends think that I will be quite a good producer.
Right.
But direction, I don't think so. I might just like kill everybody on
Really?
set. I'm not that patient.
These are things that one learns on the job.
Yeah, patience. But production, yes, for sure.
Right. Did you enjoy making that movie?
Mahanati, I absolutely loved it, especially that last scene, that the climax scene. I was so proud that I was chosen to deliver those lines, and it was an ode. It was what every fan thought.
Was right. You were actually the voice of the fans.
I was the voice of the fans, and that was a huge honor for me.
Right. Okay. Roop Kumar, who's another of your fans, Roop Kumar has tweeted. He sent a question on Twitter. He says, "What is your real strategy in the selection of the script?"
I don't make calculated calls. I only think from the point of view of the audience. So I don't, like Mahanati, I'm not playing the central character, but I know the importance of the film for the audience, and I know how the film is going to be received, and I'm very happy to be a part of a film that's going to make a difference. So for me, I try to be as unselfish as I can when selecting a script. Yeah.
Right. Shravanti has sent in a question on Twitter. She asks, how do you stay fit, healthy and active all the time? I could use some of those tips as well.
Well, how do I stay here? I think anybody who follows me on Instagram or Twitter knows I love weight training.
Right.
Yeah, I quite ridiculously love weights.
That's out for me. It's not going to happen with me then.
Yeah, so weight training.
Okay, okay. Rajesh Nani asks on Twitter, your first failure?
My first failure? Well, there's been 100 failures or more.
Do you remember how you felt when the first, I mean, given that the first film was such a runaway success,
yeah,
what was the first failure like?
So my first 3 films were blockbusters.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have so many. Well, well, obviously, because by then, what had happened was my first film was Ye Mai Chesave, my second film was Brindavana, my third film was Dukudu, and my fourth film, like, I had 5 straight hits. So,
right.
People start calling me, okay, this is a phenomenal term, okay, it's called the golden leg.
Right, right.
It's like, the film can be batched like shit.
Right.
But if the film fails, the heroine will be blamed. She will be called the iron leg of the film.
Ah.
She would have 3 songs and 3 scenes.
And
but
still she'll take the blame for it.
she's going to be
That's
the one
terrible.
blamed. She will not have another film. Not the director, not the writer, but the poor heroine has had 3 songs, and 3 will be considered
The reason why.
the reason
Oh,
why
yeah.
the film went down.
That can be depressing. That can really mess with someone's head, right?
Yeah.
To feel
So
like,
then-
I didn't even have so much to do in this film.
Yeah, exactly. But then I was the golden leg.
Right. You just were knocking them out of the park.
Yeah. So then I was like, wow, I really bought into that crap. After the 5th film, I was like, do I have superpowers? Am I really golden? And then I had that one film that went, psst.
Correct.
Like, not so golden after all. Yeah. Yeah, so apparently that ended quickly. And then I had quite a few. In fact, in Tamil, it took me a while for me to actually get the ball rolling in
Right.
Tamil and get a few hits and yeah. So now it's basically I'm sitting at home,
Right.
very happy, waiting for somebody to come along with knowing what to do with me in a film.
Right. I feel like after Super Deluxe and Majili, again, it sort of, expands your range. It just shows what you're willing to do. I feel like the range
And what
in
is
terms
not
of-
there in the
And what's
industry.
not there. Because I feel like the range in terms of the talent has been proven. Now it's the range in terms of what she's willing to do. It's always about, right, I mean, we didn't think she'd be willing to play this adulterous wife who...
Yeah, so I've
Is
said
willing
it
to
loud
dispose
and
the-
clear,
correct.
but I'm still sitting at home, which means there's so much of a void in terms of content for
Right.
women.
But I hear that among Bollywood actresses as well. Deepika Padukone, who's considered one of the biggest actresses in Bollywood, says that. She says that it took her a year after Padmavat to choose her next film because there wasn't. And if Deepika Padukone is saying that,
Yeah, absolutely.
obviously we're talking about times being better and writing getting better, but not really.
Not really. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it better for the men?
Oh, sorry. Did I actually do
You can
that?
Thank you. Is your husband at work every day?
My husband is at work every day, and I'm visiting him in Kashmir.
Right.
Yes, I'm the wife who visits.
Correct.
No, well, see, obviously it's a lot better for the men. Yeah, or it isn't, and somehow they're able to make money though at the box
Right.
office. So it doesn't really matter. I somehow feel that we are bending backwards and sidewards, and they're doing the same thing and still making.
It is true. Actually, to be fair, actually women have more exciting parts. I feel like the
Absolutely.
heroes are in a sense constrained because they have to kind of keep playing the hero. Whereas the women are actually able to step out of that and do interesting things.
Absolutely.
Who would have thought, Super Deluxe, who would have thought that kind of character could be played by a leading actress? If you saw a film like Andhadhun, who would have thought someone like Tabu would play that kind of part? So I think it's great parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we really should talk about Oh Baby before we go. This is a film that's going to come out on the 5th of July. You play a singer. You've said that, do you know how to sing? Did you have to, did you have to do
Terribly.
a lot of posturing?
Nope.
You want to give us a,
No chance.
how bad can it be?
Oh, really bad. Like percentages will drop on my Twitter. The people will be like, unfollow. It's that bad. Yeah, and actually considering that my family, my mom sings, my brother sings, I don't know.
Missed you. But you learned acting. Yeah? You're a terrific actor. I mean, one great skill is sort of good. Yeah.
not great, it's like above average.
You're really harsh on yourself.
It's at best above average.
What do you think will appeal to the fans when Oh Baby comes out?
I think Oh Baby has a lot going for it. It's been a while since the ladies actually came out and wanted to watch a film, or a film was made for them.
Right.
And I really believe from the bottom of my heart that Oh Baby is a film for women, and more especially for women in their 40s, and
who makes movies for that demographic anymore, right?
Absolutely right. Like it's so rare that happens, and I'm so happy that we were able to accomplish this, because we've already had many shows. We have a very strict producer,
right.
Suresh Productions. So we've had already many shows with different demographics, and the women have reacted extremely well. I'm like, me and my director pray every day. We listen to the voice notes of those women. I'm like, if the audience
just make sure you tell everybody on the 5th of July.
Just react like this. No, oh my God, I'm moving. I'm just moving. I'm retiring. I'm moving. So it would be amazing if the women came out and watched Oh Baby, because this is a film especially for the women, and it's such an it's a light-hearted, it's a film that makes you remember and makes you understand, because it's always such a male-centric, and from a man's point of view, and women, I don't know, unfortunately men can't even understand now what a woman thinks, or
right.
what, like
complex creatures.
We're not really complex.
I mean, in the best way.
Absolutely. It's just it would be nice, for men, both men and women, to really watch Oh Baby, because it's a very special film.
Right.
A very special film that a whole family should watch, and it's got a lot of comedy. It's got a lot of original scenes and original writing, and I can't stop talking about Oh Baby, because it's a very special film for me. It's so much more than just a comedy film. It's not that. It's like when you think it's a comedy, it really hits you and makes you like, whoa, I thought I was an empathetic, understanding human being. I completely left out this side of understanding my mum, or trying, or ever asking her all these questions, or ever wondering what could have been.
Right.
So even for like self-proclaimed empathetic person,
right.
It still left me very I felt very less of a human at that point of time when I watched the film, the original version, which immediately made me want to remake this film.
Right. Well, that's a lot of that's a lot of thought-provoking things. So, any chance it's going to also be available to those that aren't in Hyderabad and in?
Well, I think right now there's the talk already of a remake in Hindi. So.
But no, we'd like to see you in it. So hopefully there'll be a few prints that'll be there with subtitles for people like us, or we'll just wait for it to turn up on one of the platforms.
No. Yeah. We have very good subtitles.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. We're gonna. I'm sold. You've sold one ticket. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna watch it on
now,
the 5th of July.
just for how many more tickets do we? Just.
I feel like there's a lot of interest in it. I feel like the trailer's really there's a sweetness in it, and I think that looking at Lakshmi Garu, who's in it as well.
Absolutely.
I think that there's a lot in it for almost people of all ages and backgrounds. I feel like there's a lot in it, and I can't wait to see it, and maybe we'll chat again after.
Thank you
so much. Thank you for being here in the Twitter Blue Room. I really enjoyed this chat.
Thank you so much.
I love your films, and I'm looking forward to seeing lots more. Thank you so much. Thank you to the fans who tuned in and asked us questions. I'm sorry I hogged most of it, but thank you.
Thank you.